It was a Tuesday afternoon, like any other, in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, January 12th, 2010. The streets were crowded, taxis blared their horns, and children played in the alleyways, and families prepared for their evening meals. But beneath the island's soil, something ancient was stirring, and at 4:53 p.m., the ground shook with a violence that Haiti had never seen before. This is when nature strikes, and tonight we're revisiting one of the deadliest natural disasters of the 21st century, the 2010 Haiti earthquake. To understand why this earthquake became so catastrophic, we need to step back and look at Haiti itself. Haiti occupies the western third of the island of Hispaniola, which it shares with the Dominican Republic. Home to around 10 million people in 2010, Haiti was already the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Political instability, deforestation, and decades of underinvestment had left infrastructure weak. Roughly 70% of the population lived on less than $2 a day, and many lived in densely packed neighborhoods with homes built of concrete blocks, unreinforced and unable to withstand even mild earthquakes. And beneath this fragile landscape lay the Enriquilo Plantain Garden Fault Zone, a massive strike-slip fault that had not released any major energy in more than 200 years. Scientists, however, warned that it was due, but no one ever knew when it was going to happen. At 4:53 p.m., the fault finally ruptured. The magnitude 7.0 quake struck just 16 miles west of Port-au-Prince near the town of Léogâne. In less than 40 seconds, the capital city was changed forever. Imagine it. Buildings sway, concrete cracks, and walls buckle. Then, collapse. Entire schools, packed with children, pancaked in seconds. Hospitals crumbled just as patients needed them the most. The National Palace, the very seat of the government, split and fell. Clouds and dust filled the sky as screams echoed through the streets. For those inside their homes, it was sudden darkness, crushing weight, and confusion. For those outside, it was a nightmare of falling debris and chaos. When the ground finally stopped moving, Port-au-Prince was unrecognizable. The death toll was staggering. Over 220,000 people were killed. Some estimates suggest that it may be even higher than that. More than 300,000 people were injured, and 1.5 million left completely homeless. That meant that every 1 in 9 Haitians was suddenly without shelter. Entire neighborhoods were flattened. Schools collapsed with children inside. Hospitals were destroyed, leaving the wounded with nowhere to go. Electricity gone. Water lines broken. The city, in an instant, became a place of mourning. Survivors described the air filled with dust, blood, and cries for help. With communications cut off and roads blocked, it felt, for many, like the world had ended, and no help was coming. When it comes to survivor stories, in the middle of this nightmare, there are some stories of resilience and tragedy that emerged. Ina Zizi, a 23-year-old woman, was pulled from the ruins of the National Cathedral a full 7 days after the quake had struck. She had survived on rainwater and sheer willpower to survive. In one collapsed school, rescue workers tirelessly worked as parents walked outside, desperate to hear their child's voice. For some, miracles came, but as you can guess, for others, it did not. Families clawed through concrete with bare hands, digging for loved ones. Many survivors remember the haunting sound of voices calling from beneath the rubble, voices that eventually faded and faded away. When it comes to the aftershocks, Haitians tried to process what had happened. The ground betrayed them over and over. Dozens of aftershocks struck in the following days after the quake. The strongest was a magnitude of 5.9, which hit on January 20th, just over a week later. For survivors, each tremor was a sign of panic, forcing them to relive the events which occurred just after a week before. People refused to sleep inside what little remained of their homes. Thousands camped in open fields, fearful that the earth might swallow them whole. In the quake itself, it was horrific, but in the days that followed were a humanitarian catastrophe. Port-au-Prince became a city of tents. Over 1.5 million people crowded into makeshift camps, some nothing more than plastic tarps stretched over sticks. Clean water was scarce, food was almost non-existent, and medical supplies ran out almost immediately. Diseases spread quickly. Within months, Haiti was struck by a cholera outbreak carried inadvertently by UN peacekeepers. This outbreak killed more than 10,000 people and infected hundreds and thousands more. The quake had not only killed in the moment, it set off a chain of suffering that would continue for years. The world watched in horror as images of Haiti's devastation filled the news. International aid poured in. The United States launched Operation Unified Response, sending troops, helicopters, and ships to deliver supplies. The United Nations mobilized peacekeepers and relief teams. Ordinary people around the world donated billions of dollars with charities like the Red Cross promising relief. But distributing aid was chaotic. Port-au-Prince's airport became overwhelmed with planes circling for hours. In some places, desperate Haitians fought over limited food deliveries. And as months went by, criticism mounted. Billions were pledged, but little seemed to reach those who needed it the most. Even today, questions remain about how that aid was managed. Rebuilding Haiti was never going to be easy. Thousands of temporary shelters went up. Some schools were rebuilt, but 10 years later, much of Port-au-Prince still bore scars. Many families remained in tents or shacks, vulnerable to the next storm or earthquake. The presidential palace, once a symbol of Haiti, remained in ruins for years. Infrastructure projects were slow, hampered in politics, corruption, and lack of coordination. And yet, amid all this, Haiti's people showed resilience. Communities came together, schools reopened, and life, though forever changed, continued. The 2010 Haiti earthquake wasn't just a natural disaster, it was a humanitarian crisis that exposed deep inequalities in the world. It reminded us that poverty amplifies tragedy, that natural disasters don't hit all nations equally, and that even in the darkest times, the human spirit can endure. For Haiti, the earthquake is more than a memory. It's a wound, still healing, carried by those who lived through it. As a new YouTuber, I get asked why I make these videos. The main purpose of these videos is not just about the tragedy itself. It's about remembering those that we've lost or hearing the stories of resilience in different small communities. So these videos are for you, so thanks for watching. The Haiti earthquake lasted for less than a minute, but its impact will echo for generations. This has been When Nature Strikes. If you found this episode powerful, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and check out our other episodes on the world's most devastating natural disasters, such as the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami or Hurricane Andrew's wrath on Florida 33 years ago. And remember that when nature strikes, it strikes without warning. Good night.